पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Jambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukamiva bandhanan mृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Jambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukamiva bandhanan mृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Jambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukamiva bandhanan mृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Jambakam Sahana vavatu Sahana bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvi navadhitamastu Ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Asato ma sadgamaya Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya Mrityo ma mrutangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Good afternoon. All of you had your lunch? Hmm? Please see page number 28 in your prayer book. The second quote in the page, the quote that I was explaining to our spoken English students, same thing I will explain it to you. Never mind failures, they are quite natural. They are the beauty of life, these failures. What would life be without them? I never heard a cow tell a lie, but it is only a cow, never a man. So never mind these failures, these little backslidings. Hold the ideal 1,000 times, and if you fail 1,000 times, make the attempt once more. The ideal of man is to see God in everything. The ideal of human being, if man means not man or woman, I think you understand that. So never mind failures. They are quite natural, they are the beauty of life. You don't want to become, a failure in any of our attempts, right? You want only success. But failure comes to us. We don't want it, but it comes. We should be able to welcome it. Swami is saying that they are the beauty of life, but we don't consider them as beauty of life. We think as thorns. We think them as thorns. Why he is saying that they are the beauty of life? These failures educate us. They have an educative value in them, right? Nature is trying to evolve a Buddha out of every one of us. We're all tomorrow's Buddhas. Okay? Nature is pushing us towards that direction. The last statement here is the ideal of man is to see God in everything. Till you attain to that Advaita consciousness, nature will, give us blows. Some failures are inevitable, they're necessary, they're part of life. So they teach us valuable lessons of life. Slowly, nature is pushing us towards that Advaita. Why should we see God in everything? You just see if there is suffering in the world. From where the suffering is coming, it is coming from the mind. There is no other source, right? What is mind? It's made of pairs of opposites, likes and dislikes, attraction, aversion, pain and pleasure. Okay, praise and blame, good and bad. It is all these polarities are only in the mind. You transcend the mind, you experience that indivisible whole, which is our real nature. It is happening to every one of us. Every night it is happening. When you go to bed at night, mind gets dissolved. We touch the frontier of that infinite. Okay? That when you touch that infinite, that gives the real joy or bliss. When you wake up fresh and then you perform your duties for 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours maximum. Afterwards, your mind gets exhausted and again you have to go back to sleep. What it proves that mind is not self-luminous. It is dependent on something else. It is asking that I need to charge up myself. I need energy. Okay? In the sleep, it just draws its energy from some other source that is called Chaitanya or soul or consciousness. That is our real nature. When you wake up, you forget that your real nature and you identify with the body. Then the world becomes real. So then pain begins, pairs of opposites. Both are there. We oscillate between these two. So let us say you have the same awareness that which you have in deep sleep during wakeful state also. Every day in sleep you get detached from the body and then from the mind. Then you exist as that indivisible whole. When you wake up again, we identify the mind comes first and then mind identifies the body, then the universe appears before us. Have you heard of Adi Shankaracharya's Mayavada? Have you heard? Adi Shankara's philosophy, Maya, this world is Maya. So that's why our philosophers have proposed two things. If you really want to attain to that oneness of existence, attain to that nirvana or kaivalya or mukti or God realization, self realization, samadhi, ecstasy, there are so many words for that ultimate state, God realization. So he said either negate the world completely, you just negate. Everything is Maya, don't touch it. That is one way. But anyway, it's difficult for us. Or superimpose God on everything you see. Everything that you see in this universe bears the stamp of the Creator. Okay? So if you want to touch something in this creation, touch it with the idea, with the sense that it is created by God, and try to see the presence of that creator in every piece of the creation. Not in one thing you see and in any other thing you don't see. It's not like that. In everything, good and bad, you should be able to superimpose with God. Okay, either you do this or completely negate it. That is Maya. In both the ways, you will be able to succeed in overcoming the mind itself. When you superimpose God on everything you see, mind actually cannot actually exist as polarities. Without polarities, mind cannot survive. It gets dissolved. When the mind is dissolved, you are in nirvana. You are a Buddha. You are transcended Buddhi. When you go beyond Buddhi, you are a Buddha. Till you attain to that Buddhahood, which is inherent in every one of us, that is our birthright, there will be suffering. There will be failures. You will never be able to overcome them. So, this larger goal of life, when that is in perspective, okay, when you bear that in mind, you will be able to withstand any failure in the world, any failure in our life, any tragedy, you will be able to bear it. Otherwise, sometimes the tragedies will become so painful that people get into depression and commit suicide. Why? The larger perspective, the larger goal of life is not in sight. They just compare with the immediate society around and think that they have become a failure and God has given me this failure. He has not given failures to others. Only I have been unfortunate. These kinds of conclusions, we come to. And then either we get into depression or in the extreme case, people commit suicide as we see in the society. So you need to understand the things in right perspective. So every failure that comes to us, that visits in your life, is a blessing in disguise from the Lord. Learn to look at from this perspective. We put in the best of the effort. We want only success, but it doesn't come always. But it's okay. Failure also welcome because it has an educative value. Nature is trying to teach us lessons. The bitter experience of the failures teach us more better lessons than so-called success or sweet experiences. So you should be able to welcome bitter experiences also. That's why Swami is saying that they are the beauty of life. What is life without them? Okay. They are the beauty of life. They are part and parcel of life. They have an educative value. That's why God is giving us. Nature wants to teach us till we learn the last lesson of life. What is the last lesson of life? Yes, your Buddhahood. When you learn to see everything as a manifestation of one divine, when we are able to see in every atom of this universe that creates us, and then you have attained the goal. There's nothing more to attain thereafter. When you reach to that ekatva, that Advaita, no two, the mind gets dissolved. When that mind gets dissolved, what experience you get every day in deep sleep, the same experience you will have in wakeful state also. In that state, you are there like this, but you are detached from your body and mind. You are always experiencing that infinite nature of your being, that bliss, that ananda, which is incomparable. In Christian theology, they call it peace that passeth all understanding. It is such a great peace you cannot describe in words. And it's also immortality. It's not just peace, it's also immortality. Okay? Deathlessness. That is the blessed state. We are all aspiring for it. We are all progressing towards that, but unconsciously. The vast mass of population is actually traveling towards that goal only. Everybody wants happiness. Everybody wants eternal peace and eternal happiness. They come to us only when we transcend the mind. And there is a way to transcend the mind. Either negate the world completely or superimpose God on everything you see. Either ways, you become successful. To dissolve the mind and to realize your own nature. Do you get that? Are you with me? Ardhamainda? Okay, thank you. Nice evening.